You know, I like what Pete said. Treasury Prince is my sister, and I think what is great
You've seen it, you've been to all the barbecues, which you're not now.
Related to many others have developed, I think to their detriment, it's sometimes
yeah, I mean, you think about what's going on with some of the Ivy Leagues today. They're not. They just are the very bottom end of my book.
They're hurting bad in terms of public relations and what they've done.
Well, it's their agenda. They're not there to teach. They're there to persuade and to inform and to talk to other people about. Yes, it's a lot. It is. I agree. And but it's so ingrained. I mean, more than I ever would have guessed. Of course, we are a little protected here in the Midwest, but the fact that they have an agenda is very disturbing.
I think it's developed over a period of time, but with a plan. I think it's a plan that's developed over a period of time. But the plan of it is to spend
Oh, yeah. But she's awesome.
and beneath the surface, and all of a sudden we wake up and there's so most of them
Well, they've been teaching this way for 30 or 40 years.
We need to get out of the way of this too. But
You'll get a chance to hear from some student veterans and
we need to get out of the way of this.
use the Veterans Center, and then we'll present some scholarships. Good morning, everyone. Is that thing working? Hello? Hello? I don't know if I need it. Well, whatever, I move and talk with my hands anyway, so I don't know how well that translates.
You have a commanding voice, we'll hear you.
So welcome to the 10th anniversary of the dedication of the Sergeant Jeffrey B. Dodge Veterans Center. Wow, it's hard to believe, and I think the weather is a lot different too. When we did this dedication, I was real happy to have on a suit and coat and a tie and a long sleeve shirt. Not so much today, but it's obviously appropriate, so we'll suffer through. It's kind of neat, the 10-year anniversary. There's all kinds of neat anniversaries coming up here. We're 250th anniversary coming on of the birth of the nation. We're coming up on, well, no, we have it, the Army 250th birthday, the Marine Corps, the Navy. So all these neat things are kind of happening with seminal milestones in all those organizations and great institutions. So as always, thank you all for coming. Thank you for being investors into our veterans and their futures and their dependents too, because that's a huge thing too that I really stress anymore. The family serves obviously as well. Anybody here who's been in knows that the family serves as much as that veteran does and that service member. Currently we have right around 100 folks that are using some sort of a GI Bill education or VA benefit. We continue to try to take care of our veterans in the best way possible. There are some neat things that we can look to say, hey, is this working or not? I think the last time I looked, I don't believe we have any claims where you can go out and give a ding, basically like a Yelp review, I guess, out on the GI Bill site. And I don't believe we've ever had one of those. Each year, I fill out a couple surveys, and we are perennially in the top 10 on that survey of the school in our category, which is a private institution with up to a doctorate level degree offered. Previously, just a couple years ago, we were actually #1 in that category. This year, our ranking is #6 in the nation in that category. So great job for the investors and all the folks that help make that work here. In addition, we are also 6th this year in the category of military spouse-friendly school. So that was pretty neat as well. And a little bit of how that's determined. So it's part of that's VA data, DOD data, and Department of Education data that we submit, and then part of it's the programming that we do here. So when that survey went out, 1,800 schools participated. 830 were given some sort of recognition, so it's pretty good that we wound up with 6 again. Again, like I said, normally top 10. We are really good at taking care of our veterans here at the University of Dubuque. So what about our veteran students? Well, what do they bring? They bring critical thinking, technology skills. We've got veterans in here that are Navy and Army divers. We've got aviators in here. We've got cybersecurity specialists. We've got, I always screw up what you did, Nate. Maintain large fire control systems that go from the Navy to the Air Force to the Army, worldwide, global, sea, air, land. Pretty incredible stuff that we've got people that show up with those skills. They multitask, they're used to collaborating, they're used to getting the job done. On average, a traditional student here at University of Dubuque, our undergrads got a 3.39 average. Our student veterans have 3.57. We've had veterans here from private to lieutenant colonel, officer, NCO, enlisted, Army, Marine, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. I don't think we've had a Space Force yet, which reminds me, I gotta get a Space Force flag. But just a little side note, the president's son one of his sons is in the Space Force, so that's good news. We've had mothers, brothers, daughters, Melissa, husband and wife teams come through here through school that were sometimes both veterans. Our veterans go into our accounting programs, our business program, marketing, digital forensics, criminal justice, health and wellness, flight. We got a lot of flight. I think actually the preponderance of veterans that show up down here at the Veterans Center are all in flight. Actually, so that's one of our more popular ones. And then there's a lot of, like I said, criminal justice, environmental science, and nursing. So those nursing service members and the criminal justice, they're going to go back out and serve their community again as a police officer, a first responder. And we've had in the criminal justice world and in the LEO world everywhere from city, state, county, federal, CIA, FBI. We've had them participate in all those law enforcement programs. So we try to keep doing things that are innovative, and we got some things that are coming down the road to make our education vehicles more deliverable to the today's student, working adult. Like for instance, we've got a salute to service program with Lee over here in our evening adult accelerated program, and that's a $250 tuition rate, and that's for graduate and undergraduate and graduate work. So, and the other neat thing about that is, again, we try to take family, kind of one of those reasons I think we get the number 6 for military spouse support. Your spouse gets that same rate, and we even offer daycare. I always got to get Lee on that one. He forgets it at the one community outreach meeting we do. So,
we need free childcare. We can take care of it if you're in the line program.
So, with that, I'd like to talk a little about community outreach. We have a couple of our student veterans here that I think I was sharing with somebody. We get reached out to by the community different times because of the good things we do for veterans here. We're sometimes considered a focal point of taking care of veterans in the community. For instance, Captain Robert Martin, the name of the terminal out there, former Dubuque senior graduate, Iowa State graduate. We had a big function here on the university out by the airport called the Rise Above ceremony, and we helped people get together and support that to get the terminal named after Captain Robert Martin out there, one of the Tuskegee Airmen. We actually had a P-51 Mustang here too for all your aerial buffs. So we get called on different things. So a couple of years ago, we got a call that said, hey, we are looking to try to engage women veterans. And so we had a little luncheon here, and it's sprung into the Tri-State Women's Warriors. And who's what for officers? I know you just changed not too long ago. We got Dawn Butler and Melissa Gelstrap. Dawn, you're the Vice President this year. Tri-State Women Warriors, great volunteer organization here that kind of got it. University of Dubuque kind of was the genesis of them starting to meet, and it blossomed from there. And they're one of the best organizations for veterans in the Tri-State area right now. A couple other veterans started, I think. A couple other of the student veterans and folks associated here with UD started another veteran network group called the Tri-State Veterans Network. They meet monthly, and we try to just do engage employers, veterans, and their families in an employment conversation. We also then have other resources show up at that, the VA, the local Veterans Affairs Office, the VA comes in, Iowa Workforce Development comes in, employers sponsor it. It's in kind of a low threat area, low threat location where it's just networking and camaraderie with other veterans, employers, and resources that they might not be aware of. So again, it's things that happen besides what we do here as far as academics and taking care of our students. So we've got a lot of things going, and with that I'd like to continue to talk about the momentum we're about to keep track of traveling on. If everybody's aware, we just started a new campaign we're going to start an engineering program. I believe it starts with the fall of 27 class. Technology and innovation from the collaborative folks, and we're just continue that momentum that we've got going on. So here's some of that momentum that has built up over the years with some previous student veterans here. If anybody want to come up and say a few words.
I was voluntold I was going first. So here I am. This morning, it is such a humbling experience, and to just be a part of something so big. This is the second time I've been here for the dedication. So it just brings out lots of emotions, different every time. Hello, my name is Melissa Gilstrap. I am an alumni of UD, class of 2016. I proudly served in the Army and the Air Force for 15 years. I got out in 2009. I really struggled until spring of 2011. That's when I came to UD. Like many veterans, we struggle with transition. We need to find who we are, our connections, our purpose in life again, and camaraderie. When Zach and Ross approached me here at UD, they had a nice little clipboard and a petition. They said, hey, will you sign this? We want to start a student veteran organization. I was all in. And from there, UD, they saw that we did have a need, we had a purpose, and they provided this wonderful space that we're in for us. This space, it means so much. It gives us a space not only to gather, but we can be ourselves, we can share our experiences, we can make connections and lifelong friendships. And as you see, we springboard and we're still continuing to provide for our community. And for me, it's helped me to be seen, supported, and not just a student or a veteran. Rick mentioned to me the other day that I had said something. I was like, oh my God, great memory. I have no memory. So he mentioned about hats. And I will share with you what I shared with him, and I really don't share a lot of things. But as a mom, I wore a mom hat, a wife hat, a daughter hat, and now I wear a grandma hat, and I wore a student hat. So coming down here, I didn't have to wear any of those hats. None of the responsibilities, none of the pressures that come with that hat. So when I was here, I could flourish. I was supported academically. I graduated summa cum laude, so he's right. We thrive in this space. We need it. So that's really important. So thank you for remembering that. And lastly, this space reminds us that we are valued, our voices mattered, and that we still belong to something bigger than ourselves. And I am grateful for this support that it brings to all of us that walk through that door. So thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.
Good morning. I'm Zachary Pickle. I served in the Army from 2004 to 2010. I studied biology here from 2012 to 2015. And then thanks to this center, I was offered a job with Social Security upon graduating. That actually reached out to Rick and asked if they had any veterans that were graduating soon. Like Melissa said, we started this organization, UD Vets, because we felt there was a need. UD was very welcoming to veterans in general, but they recognized that they didn't really know how to handle what veterans needed. So they even approached us and said, what do you need? And we said if we could get a liaison, that would kind of help all veterans have the same experience. And if we could have some space where veterans could gather, that would be amazing. And they quickly worked to find Rick. and then find us a space down here where we could gather and just be. You know, there wasn't the expectation that we do anything, just you'll have some space where everybody around us had the same or similar experience to us. So we are thankful for UD for giving us this opportunity, and it's great to see that the center is still thriving 10 years after I graduated. So thank you all for being here.
No, I don't like the taste of crayon. I'm just going to take this in for a moment because this is a powerful place for me. I was at NICC. My name is Tori Barr. I graduated in 2017, computer information and technology with an accounting minor. I met Rick. I was at NICC and I met Rick. And as Melissa said, that was 2016-ish. This thing was just coming into existence, and I knew this is where I needed to be. You know, I was kind of wandering around in life. I didn't have a lot of direction. I was trying to figure it out. Didn't have a lot of identity, but when I found the veteran community at UD, it completely changed my life, completely gave me purpose. I was the first recipient of the Sergeant Jeffrey B. Dodge Scholarship, and that day will live with me forever as one of the greatest honors and moments in my entire life. Jeff Dodge is a fellow that I've never met, but I had the honor of meeting his family and meeting his classmates and his friends, and I felt through them that I kind of got to know Jeff. And that man has influenced my life in ways that I can't even fathom. And it's just so powerful. I've been to DC a couple of times. I visit our fellows, you know, if I go to the memorial there. And I just carry him with him. And it's just such an honor to be associated with that name and the name of this Veteran Center. And the support that we had, all the great work that Rick and all of the supporters of this place have put together over the years has just absolutely changed my life for the better. I certainly wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for this place. You know, the walls of this place are just sacred. This is one of the most special places for me on this entire planet. You know, there's conversations that go on in here. Some pretty heavy stuff that goes on in here that you know, the rest of the world might not really be privy or understand what it is, you know, that we're talking about, but this is a safe place. You know, and as I come back, I see the walls and more memories kind of continue to exist around here, and I just love to see how it continues to grow, and the support and the love and all of just the great things that go on here. So, you know, it's just such an honor, and I say that, you know, to the current students, you know, really cherish this place. I've been through homecoming before in my life, and I never really understood what it was until I came to UD. And this is home. When I come in here and I breathe the air in this place, I smell the smells, I see the stuff on the walls. It's all so familiar. It's just vivid to me of the time I spent here, the friends I made here, all we did together, all we've accomplished, and how we continue to grow and support this as you know, 10 years have gone by since this happened, and it's just an amazing opportunity. I'm so blessed. I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful. And it's just an honor to be a Spartan and a veteran and part of this. So thank you all very much.
Well, this is a little off the cuff, but I feel like I don't know if I can follow up all that with all these guys though. So my name's Josh Langus. I came to UD in 2018. I enrolled, and I'm a lifelong underachiever, I'll just be admitted here, right? But this place kind of changed my life, and kind of flipped that script a little bit and showed me, boy, like Tori was saying, it's a really special place with a lot of special people here all throughout UD. I majored in computer information systems with minors in business and computer security, and you know, I've always kind of been drawn to the art of defense, and I found a really good kind of war to fight that, you know, most can't see today, and it's a digital war. So I'm on the defensive side of things there. And UD and the Veterans Center specifically, and Rick Ernst and the veterans that were down here during my time, really were the launching pad for everything that I have today. So it's a great honor. I mean, the biggest takeaway that I got from here is how do you learn, how do you approach people, networking with people, meeting people that have, you know, shared dreams, shared goals, and things of that nature. And I also was the first recipient of the Ronald Segers scholarship in 2019. And similar to Tori, you know, it'll punch you kind of in the jaw and you won't even see it coming. But I got to meet a lot of his classmates and his family that are still, I believe they're down in Makokata area. And through that, I love, you know, pulling digital threads on my own on the internet. So I went on a little mission to go find out a lot about Ron as much as I could dig up on the internet. And, you know, that guy gave a lot, and I'm honored to be able to call this place kind of a second home. And I can always call on Rick. Me and Rick text often. So I just got lifelong camaraderie. I learned a lifelong way to learn new things because, as we all know, digital threats move at the speed of light. So, you know, without UD and Rick and everybody down here giving me some motivation, probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. And today I'm down at Dubuque Community Credit Union as an information security analyst, where, you know, we defend our community's financial well-being. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, folks. Again, some incredible, impactful stories there and conversations. I talked about things we do in the community. Tori, did you just take over an organization for veterans in Madison?
Yeah, I got involved with Stand Down Madison, so benefiting homeless veterans around the Dane County and surrounding areas and things like that. So we have a huge drive. It's the actual Stand Down event, and all the veterans come in and we get barbers and we have clothing. We have a connection with Lands End and we get clothing and backpacks.
Something we've actually done here before, and COVID kind of threw all that off, and I think we need to revisit that here, because we used to support the local veterans stand down here, the veterans group here did. So I thought that's what you were. I just wanted to share that. Again, our student veterans and our alums that go from here, they go out into the community. It's not just blinders forward with their life. They go out and still serve the community just like they did. So with that, let's do our scholarships here. This year's Sergeant Jeffrey B. Dodge scholarship recipient is Anthony Hager. Anthony is an airman in the Iowa Air National Guard, 132nd Wing. He's currently a financial specialist there. His goal is to continue on pushing forward as far as becoming a pilot, and you're currently in our aviation program, correct? So the thing that I liked about speaking with Anthony and why I recommended him for this was he's doing a lot of it. He's trying to do a lot of it on his own as far as some of his financing, and which is very admirable this day and age, to have a young man or a young lady come up and say, hey, I'm going to help fund on my own. He's got some military benefits and education benefits through the Air National Guard, but again, it's one of those things where we like to try to help with a stopgap measure to fill that difference that he has for lack of benefits, and that's where you all come in all your investments and helping out with these scholarships. So again, he's majoring in flight operations and a minor in applied technology or applied aviation technology. Again, once he gets his degree, he plans on, there's various pilot boards, and I think you're looking at fighters. He's going to try to get into you could put packets in. Once you're in the Air Force or the Air Force Reserve or the Air National Guard, you could put packets in if you got the bona fides, and you can apply for these pilot slots as they come open. So the best of luck with that in a couple years down the road. Side note on somebody who just graduated here in the spring here of 25, Nathan Knutson, I think he's still finishing up a couple ratings. And is Nathan trying to do, I'm looking for some of our vets that have been here a little bit, is he trying to do CFI here? A lot of our student veterans go on to become certified flight instructors here too, by the way, which is a great help. Anyway, he came in number 2. There's an Air National Guard F-35 fighter wing in Madison, Wisconsin, and he came in number 2 at the spring pilot board, and his wing commander said, we got another one this fall, make sure you apply. So we're hoping Nathan gets picked up as an F-35 fighter pilot, so that would be pretty awesome. So go for it, keep going for it. And that's what got him. But he went to, so he lives in the Des Moines area. He went to Camp Dodge. There's a military museum there, if you're familiar with it, in Johnston, Iowa, which is a little suburb right there by Des Moines. And there's a really neat military museum there on Camp Dodge. And he saw some aircraft there, and he got to see he had an F-18 flight suit as a kid, and he's always been intrigued by flight. So going after helping get his own funding and that drive to become an aviator was one of the reasons I thought that you would be a good candidate this year. So congratulations, Anthony, and come on up.
Yeah, so my name's Anthony Hager. This is my first year at the University of Dubuque. I only enlisted about a year and a half ago, and it was a bit of a jump. I don't have anybody in my family that's been active in any branch since I've been alive, and also no aviators in my family. So I didn't really know what this path was going to look like, and coming to UD, I only knew my teammates on the wrestling team, and I'm going to all these classes and going to practice, and nobody really is going down the same path as me. But having the Veterans Center, it really means a lot to me. I really appreciate the scholarship. It means a lot to me. And the Veterans Center itself, just knowing that this is all here for me, it definitely gives me reassurance, just that, I don't have to be going down the same path as everybody else. And I'm just really thankful, so thank you all.
Congratulations. Sorry, I forgot to mention the wrestling thing. There's kind of a theme here. There's always usually somebody with a wrestler, and Ron was obviously a big wrestler too, so these crazy military folks and their hand-to-hand combat stuff. So this year's Staff Sergeant Ron Sager's award goes to, scholarship goes to Matt Krull, Specialist Matt Krulls. He was born in Iowa City. He joined active duty Army in 2017 and later the Iowa National Guard after he had completed his active duty service, so he's still serving. Completed basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and went on to Fort Huachuca, Arizona to do 15 Echo, which is unmanned aerial systems repair, so UAV repairman. He's currently serving in the Iowa National Guard at the Eastern Iowa National Guard Aviation Facility Training Site and reclassified as a 15 Tango, which is a Black Hawk helicopter repairman. So he has served as an unmanned aerial technician, information technology administrator, a maintenance chief, a maintenance technology inspector with the 10th Mountain and the first of the 10th Brigade Combat Team in New York. He also serves as UH-72 Technician Information Technology Administrator at the Iowa National Guard in the aviation unit there at Waterloo, Iowa at that ASIF. He's currently working towards a bachelor's degree in flight operations here at the University of Dubuque and has completed all required levels of training, and he'll probably soon be a sergeant in the Iowa National Guard. He has also participated in multiple combat operations in support of the global war on terror and the fight against ISIS. Matt, would you please come forward?
Well, my name's Matt. Thank you all. This is really a true honor to be here and to be selected for the Ronald Sagers Scholarship. I look around at this vet center and the community that's been brought around it, and the legacy that the people before me have established, and it really is an honor to be a part of that. The vet center really gave me a place to transition when I came out of active duty. It really is a kind of a windy, lost road when you first get out. So coming here and being able to talk with fellow veterans really does help in that transition. But mainly I want to say thank you. It really is great that the school honors the previous students that have been here and continues this legacy forward. So thank you.
So, to wrap things up here, a couple notes. One, there was a press release put out by the Cadet Command earlier this year. I think it was May, June timeframe that the University of Dubuque was not going to have a ROTC program anymore. That's been rescinded. We were very fortunate to get with our CODEL, our congressional delegation here in the state. I worked closely with one of Senator Grassley's liaisons at the Pentagon, and I'm happy to announce that we are for sure keeping our ROTC program. It will go from being an extension unit of the University of Northern Iowa to an extension of the University of Iowa. So we are keeping ROTC. It's an integral part, as you can see up here in our history, in our storied history of training and educating officers for our military. So that's very good news for us. And like I said earlier, these are really exciting times. There's a lot of great things going on. This momentum campaign and what that building is going to become, and those other offerings that our students, that our prospective students that are going to come here, and those opportunities they're going to present not only to themselves, but their families and the greater tri-state area, as well as the nation for that matter, in the world. So great things going on here at the University of Dubuque. Again, thank you so much for coming. Couple closing announcements. Go Spartans, beat the Prairie Wolves. I always say wolves, not the wolves. You know, if you ever watched The Bachelor Party or whatever that was called, part of his wolf pack. Anyway, go Spartans, beat the Prairie Wolves, and of course, as always, go Army, beat Navy. Oh, an announcement quick to anybody here too. We're having a tailgate. We're going to have our own tent, the UD Vet tailgate tent out in Findlay tomorrow. So by all means, come by. And the other thing we're going to do is somewhere's tomorrow after we're done tailgating, somewhere's around 1:30ish, 1:40ish, we're going to meet at the entrance to the track and the football field, because prior to the playing of the national anthem and the ROTC posting the colors, we're going to have the veterans stand on the center of the track. They're kind of in front of the stadium behind the football team, and we're going to recognize any UD vets that from forever. So you're going to be welcome to that, and I'll bring it up again tomorrow at the tailgate. So, but FYI, if you don't happen to be at the tailgate, be there at 1:30 at the opening to the field. So, again, thanks for coming. Thanks for your support.